I just want to get back on the altercation between Pierre Poilievre yesterday and a journalist from Canadian Press. First of all, I want to say that he's pretty thin-skinned.
Pierre Poilievre is pretty thin-skinned, says Pascale St-Onge. She then ran out of the room crying because someone asked for her thoughts in English. Now, I joke about this because Conservative MP was accused of insulting Francophones by asking Minister to speak English. This was at a at one of these committees where Rachel Thomas later apologized in writing. She was forced to apologize for the crime of doing this, and this is why I'm bringing this up, because Pascale St-Onge is saying that that Pierre Poilievre is thin-skinned. This is what created all the outrage back then.
Please, Mrs. Thomas.
Thank you. Minister, I noticed that you answer my questions in French, but other English questions you answer in English if they're from your Liberal colleagues. I realize it's completely your choice. We're a bilingual country, but if at all possible, I'd love to have it.
Point of order.
Needless to say, she fell over like an Italian soccer player immediately after this because, well, of course, it's feigning the insult. Oh my goodness, I can't believe you would say something like that. Ask me, who speaks both English and French perfectly, to ask someone who they know doesn't speak French all that well. You know, to maybe answer the question when you've afforded that to your other colleagues. Of course, thin-skinned. I love the accusations being lobbed here. But now this is a case where, you know, they're attacking Pierre Poilievre over an altercation that he had with a reporter. I mean, a verbal altercation, of course. But let's hear what she has to say here.
So I just want to get back on the altercation between Pierre Poilievre yesterday and a journalist from Canadian Press. First of all, I want to say that he's pretty thin-skinned. It's our job when we're politicians to answer questions from journalists. We're accountable to the Canadian population, and it's the journalist's job to ask those questions.
All right, okay, here's an example of that happening.
Hoarding Islamo nationalism. What? What are you doing? Why are you pushing me?
Oh, okay, of course, Pascale St-Onge was really upset about this case. Of course, this was the case of David Menzies being assaulted and then arrested and then held without actually being arrested, being placed under arrest and then not actually being arrested for only the crime of asking a politician a question on the street. Yeah, that's right. This is a typical scrum that you would see. You don't see a lot of this happening anymore because he's one of the classic style reporters that scrums politicians out on the street. But of course, silence on this, but I mean, of course, this is just feigning the outrage. Who's thin-skinned here? Feigning outrage over a verbal altercation with a politician and a journalist.
Some questions are difficult. Some questions are easy. Yesterday's question was pretty easy. He was just asked to explain why his party introduced an amendment to lift fees for Canadian broadcasters.
Remember this, lifting fees for Canadian broadcasters. Is this what he was asked? We're going to go over it.
It's a pretty easy question. It's his party that brought that forward. So yes, when you're a politician, you need to answer questions. And when you're attacking the press, when you're attacking our free press, you're also attacking democracy. It's unworthy of a leader.
Okay, again, attacking the free press. Let's get into what Pierre Poilievre's conflict was with this reporter. I have the clip right here.
Let's bring it home.
Why did your party want to grant over $100 million in regulatory relief to the mainstream media?
Now, that is a very different question than what Pascale St-Onge said that he was asked. Granted over $100 million in regulatory, granted over $100 million is what was asked here.
Stop the crime, axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, stop the crime. It's common sense. Let's bring it home.
Why did your party want to grant over $100 million in regulatory relief to the mainstream media?
Grant $100 million in regulatory relief. Okay, let's just quickly get into what that question was. Now, this is an article from CTV News. Conservative motion backed by NDP produces $40 million in regulatory release. Somehow that turned into $100 million. But this is actually something that's on the principle of conservatism in general, is to cut any sort of costs to the operation of business. Now, there's a difference, a big difference, that's actually pointed out by Utaka Too Much on Twitter. He says conservatives and NDP helped media companies keep money in their pockets. A relief. That's right. It's actually a conservative principle. Get out of town. You know, this is one of these things. Liberals gave the media companies taxpayer money, subsidies. There's a complete difference here. There's people that don't understand the difference who are accusing the conservatives of giving money to media companies. This is obviously not the case. Now, the conservatives, and this is going all the way back to 2022, they have to go all the way back to this to ask this question. Canada's private broadcasters to save about $120 million a year in regulatory fees. But these are the accusations being lobbed. And is it thin-skinned when a reporter just keeps heckling you and you try to answer the question? Have a listen.
Media.
We don't want to give any tax dollars to the mainstream media. Our belief is that the mainstream media and all...
Decision, then? Your party's decision to grant regulatory relief?
So I'll answer your question. The media that is bought and paid for, where are you from, by the way? Which outlet are you in? Which outlet? Which outlet?
Canadian Press?
Ah, okay, Canadian Press. So you're talking about tax dollars for media. Isn't CBC your biggest? Isn't no? I can answer.
I asked regulatory
Yeah, and
relief.
you want to answer?
Why does your party want to grant $100 million in regulatory relief to the mainstream media?
When would you like me to respond? Okay, good. Okay, great. So, of course, you are a tax-funded media outlet and spreading Justin Trudeau's message.
Why did you
and so you're interrupting me again. You're interrupting me again. I am answering the question.
Do you regret granting $100 million in regulatory relief to the mainstream media?
Now, the reason why this is being asked is because in recent time, Bell Media fired a ton of people after getting money from the government. Now, this is being criticized across the board, not just the Liberals, but the entire government is being criticized for giving money to these companies and then having them claim bonuses and then obviously fire everybody else when they're just not doing well. They're just not doing well as companies. We shouldn't be giving them money. Now, giving them a relief on what they would normally have to pay out is a completely different story than giving them money. If they make money in the marketplace and they're given a relief from tax burdens, this is helping all businesses. Any business that gets a tax relief, you're just getting to keep more of your own money. But anyway, it keeps going.
Your question is false. So if you can allow me to correct your falsehoods, then we can answer the question directly. So, false. Canadian Conservatives do not believe in giving tax dollars to media outlets. That's Justin Trudeau. That's Justin Trudeau. That's Justin Trudeau. Okay, if you don't want me to answer the question, I'll move on to someone else. You're a tax-funded mouthpiece to the PMO. That's the reality. So,
question answered. You committed.
I'm trying
to. Answer the question.
I'm trying to, but you're heckling. Are you going to let me answer the question, or are you just going to heckle on behalf of Justin Trudeau? Which is it?
I would love the answer.
Great. So our party does not support tax dollars for media outlets, because that's when we end up with biased media like you, who come here and articulate the PMO talking points rather than delivering real news to the Canadian people. Justin Trudeau gave Bell Media and other media tax dollars supposedly to protect media jobs. And then what happened? They all got laid off. So that the supposed justification for giving Bell all this money was that it was going to save media jobs. Well, they all got fired. So I guess that wasn't the real reason for giving tax dollars to the media. The real reason was for him to buy support from the media, which is what it actually did. So we believe that media should be driven by readership, viewership, and listenership, and that's what allows it to represent the Canadian people rather than taking marching orders from the PMO.
Sounds reasonable to me, absolutely. And well, we're tired of hearing the talking points of the government. Not the official opposition. We're hearing the talking points of the Liberal PMO in the news media, and we're absolutely tired of it, and we're tired of paying for it. And if the government's giving them this much money and they can't survive in the marketplace, well, of course they're going to toe the line. And when the opposition says when they get elected, they're going to remove that funding, well, they're going to attack the opposition. This is pretty obvious at this point. But leave this one up to you guys. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think of all of this. And of course, we'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.